Hey, happy Friday. I know it's Friday. I know it's the end of a week. We've had a lot going on this week. We've had big tech earnings, FOMC, non-farm payrolls. But before you kick off into the weekend, a little thinking would be in order. And I'm of the conviction, if you're going to participate in this space, it's good to think. So let's reason, shall we? Let's look at the last number of days and the move from which this is emanating. We're looking at NASDAQ futures, by the way. We've got a volume profile over here on the right, a cumulative of the week. And, each of these are subsequent sessions leading into today, right? So like the week starts here, and here's today's session, right? Now, the question is, where are we going? What are likely destinations? And you can imagine in your head, someone's looking at this and going, oh my gosh, we've gone so far. I should short this. And, should you not? Like, what would be driving that? I mean, you can even see here on a really small time frame how we're, continuing to trend. And we could have another conversation about, the likelihood of trend reversals and stuff on Friday and so forth. But to that question of, where I may fail. Now I'm with you. I when I see the inventory like this, I would say this is a auction that's starting to beg for some inventory correction. Price has moved away from value, so it's value's got to catch up, and that means that the next behavior we're going to see is we're going to see a counter move, not that's going to take this thing back, but is going to shut this off. So the question in my mind, the thing that I'm working for is where might that place happen? Is there a price that I might start to see that counter move? And are we there yet? All right. And this is where, having good tools helps. Specifically this tool, which is Window Trader. And, I can't execute on this platform, but I can tell you I can do a whole lot of really cool stuff. And for example, I'm just going to zoom out here and I'm just going to look at, the last number of sessions and, where did we come from and where have we returned to? And, what's next in focus and in the area. And the thing that is really pregnant in my mind is that I have returned to an area here that we were in. So I'm curious, if I was to collapse all of that down, what would that give me? What would be the result? And I can just really simply merge these sessions. And what it's going to give me is it's going to give me a cumulative merged profile. And you can already see I have an area of interest here. Why? Because over that area of price, the most traded price by volume, this is colored by volume intensity, is 15,300. You can see that we have struggled to get above 200. Isn't that interesting that was a prior area of inventory? Look where we spent most of the early morning before we broke up to there. Was it not this prior area of inventory? What did we gap above? Was it not this prior area of inventory? So, as I look at where we're at and I go, man, yeah, I think that this thing needs to bleed off. Where do I think that the biggest magnet is? The most likely place is that we're going to go up to this, at least engage with this price. What's the expectation? A prior inventory, an area of high volume, the expectation is that's going to slow the auction because I'm coming back to a place where we were able to do business again. That's going to slow the auction, and that gives me time to make a decision. So I don't necessarily believe in support or resistance, nor do I advocate that you do. I would advocate in areas where I have an expectation of some behavior, and we can find those. We can use tools like this to find where those are and have an expectation. And the closer we get to those magnets, the more they are likely to pull. And, if I already think about my plan for Monday, one of my best trades is a day after the trend. So I have a trend day today. So if I open inside of this range somewhere, this is the high probability idea. I'm going to get higher prices, and I'm likely going to extend up to at least this area of inventory. Now I could certainly, go past it and test, and that'll be actually one of the behaviors I would look at before the short activity is, do I push past this And then does that fail and get me back below that? And that could start the counter activity that goes back looking to try to develop value in a more near-term basis. So like, think about that. Is that insightful? Does that help prompt additional questions? Does that raise you in your thinking to a different time frame? I'm finding lots and lots of traders that are spending time at these micro time frames, and they're just struggling to work it out. And one of my offerings often is to like pull it up a time frame, see if that helps. So happy Friday. May the jobless rate be ever in your favor. And we'll talk to you soon, eh? Peace.